Uh, Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow movie lovers or media lovers. So, I originally wasn't really sure if I was going to make this, and I still wasn't for a long, long time. It's been a couple days since the event occurred that I'm going to be describing. This is going to be pretty much somewhat of a movie review. Now, usually, I make a script for this. Usually, I plan out my thoughts, I write it out in detail, and then I take it from the paper to the voice, which is right here what I'm doing. But for this one, which is Transformers Age of Extinction, I did not do it. I'm still sick as shit. I'm sick as a fucking dog. And I just got home from running outside almost naked, pretty much, in winter weather. But I was so upset and I was so annoyed because this movie, this stupid Transformers movie, has been on my mind for the past couple days since I've seen it. I think it's been like 2 or 3 days at this point. I don't know because my sleeping schedule is all over the place. But essentially, this movie was so upsetting to me. Once I got home and once I took off what little clothes I had on because I'm naked right now, I was so upset. I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to sort of rant about this movie. I've been wanting to complain about it. I'm just gonna fucking do it right fucking now. No script, no clothes, no issue. So I'm really gonna try hard to not spoil too much here. And again, I'm sick as shit, and I have no script here, so my thoughts are really unorganized. But they're coming straight from the heart. So what did I think of Transformers Age of Extinction? So, first of all, why the fuck am I watching the Transformers movies this late in the game anyway? Well, I've been going on an Amazon watch spree since the beginning of January here, because January is about to end, because Amazon Prime is soon adding ads. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for fucking me in the ass even more. I have to pay for your service already, now I have to pay more if I don't want ads, where if I pay the same, I essentially get less. There it is, that's great. So I've been on a watch spree with anything and everything my friends and I want to watch on Amazon Prime Video. And one of the things on there was the Transformers movies. And we have a couple of Transformers friends in my group. So we were like, let's watch the Transformers movies. I've seen them in the past. It's been a long, long time since I've seen them, I'll tell you that. I saw Transformers 1, Transformers 2, and I don't remember if I saw 3. I think I saw parts of 3, but never officially. And then they had 3 on Amazon Prime Video, I believe, or they definitely had 4 because I just saw 4 on there. So 3 might have been not on there, and I watched that somewhere else. But I just saw 4. So kind of to say my opinion of everything, right? 1 and 2 I saw very, very long ago. I thought 1 and 2 were pretty cool. I didn't know there was as much lore to the Transformers as there actually fucking is. I was astounded. The only thing I remember as a little stupid tyke was the Transformers cartoon where, Megatron wielded, or I think Starscream wielded Megatron as a fucking gun. And it was the really cool cartoon. It was really nice. I really liked it. So I'm coming into this when I was like a high schooler, not knowing shit about what Transformers actually was. And to see the Transformers transform is amazing. Now, this is kind of expected, but I will give props to Transformers in general, where the transforming sequences are fucking amazing. Like, the way the Transformers transform and all the moving little parts in it is absolutely astonishing, especially considering the time and the graphics of the time. I don't even know when the first one came out. I think it was 2007 maybe, or 2012 or something. I don't fucking know, and I don't really want to look it up because my hands are really cold right now, and I don't want to move them. But essentially, the graphics are always great. Now, 1 through 3, I really enjoyed. And 3, again, I saw very recently. 1 and 2, I don't really remember, but they were pretty good. 3 was great. Now, I'll just say this right here, right now, up front, laying it bare on the table. This series is fucking carried by Optimus. Sam Witwicky, Shia LaBeouf is pretty cool, and you kind of have to divorce the artist from their creation in a sense. Where now if you know Shia LaBeouf, he's a little crazy, but back then and just taking his performance in the series, it was really really cool. Now, one thing they always did well, and this has to do with Optimus, was he dropped the meanest one-liners ever. And Transformers has its fair share of corniness, right? The movies are from the Bayverse. It's from Michael Bay. Like, we're not expecting a masterpiece here, even though that's kind of close to what we got. Oh god, I need to fucking blow my nose. I'm not editing this out. I'm not editing this at all, by the way. This is just off the cuff. So Michael Bay does a great fucking job at making things seem epic, even though at sometimes they could be a little corny. Now, one through three, that was amazing. Very much so in three. In three, it really made you feel like Optimus was like this amazing fucking transformer, and he is. He's basically Robo Jesus. So one through three, pretty minor, minimal complaints. The only complaint I have, and this was very prevalent in three, and it gets very prevalent. Well, actually, it's the opposite in four. It's the opposite in Age of Extinction, but in three and in all the other ones, and this always happens. I'm not gonna just fault Transformers for it. It always fucking happens in a lot of movies where this main character, be it Sam Witwicky or in Transformers: Age of Extinction, his name is Cade. He's a father. They have to save the world, right? And in other films, this happens too. They have to save the world. They got to do this shit. They explain it to their people, to their friends, their family, whatever. And their friends and family are upset at them that they're choosing to save the world. And it's like, it is the biggest, like, are you dumb moment I've seen. Like, specifically in three, this happened. I know I'm trying to review Age of Extinction here, but it happened in three, and this one annoyed me too. But in three, Sam Witwicky has to save the world, and he's back in the action, he's back in the hot seat, and he tells his girlfriend at the time, like, "Hey, I know I promised to go to this party with you, but the Transformers are back. I gotta save the world." And she gets upset with him. Now, granted, the other reason why she's upset is because he likes danger. He's putting himself in danger when he doesn't have to. But a big thing is like, bruh, he obviously has helped save the world twice. You're not gonna let him do it a third time when he obviously has help. Like, I'm not gonna say they need the humans, but the humans definitely help, even though it doesn't look like it a lot of the time. But essentially, and the fourth one, and this is the big issue I had, everything either gets turned up on its head or just really doesn't make sense. So the fourth one just completely gets rid of Sam Witwicky, which, I know I'm late to the party with this one, but it's like, damn, I liked Sam. I like Shia LaBeouf, but who knows? Maybe his contract got too big. They couldn't afford him. Or, he just didn't want to do it because he's crazy. I don't know what happened. But essentially, we're with a new guy, and the new guy, I believe, I don't even remember the actor's name. I know he's a big time actor though, but he does a pretty decent job. I honestly think the fourth one just suffers mostly from terrible, terrible writing, and not only terrible writing. And this is something I think they stuck in there too, because this is what my friend told me, who I was watching it with. His name is Jalik. Jalik told me that it's basically a big sponsorship. Like, all these car companies sponsored the movie, and not even the car companies. I could believe it was other stuff too, because there's like a lot of very clear shots of just brands. And being a media major, I can fully expect them doing this. This is where, like, you see Victoria's Secret, you see fucking Bud Light, and you see all these things, and it's a very obvious ad placement. And there's even moments where I think it very much detriments the film's narrative. There's times where the Transformers are in their car form, where the Decepticons are shooting at them, throwing shit at them, like, trying to kill them, and they're just staying in car form, and either some of them are sitting there or some of them are just driving around. And it's like, they should very obviously be in the robot form and fighting these fuckers. But they're in car form because we got to get a very clear shot of the Bentley, of the Audi, of the Camaro. We have to have very clear shots of these, of the Ford, of the Mustang. Like, it's so fucking stupid. I'm like, okay, it's getting a little obvious to where they're already breaking the immersion. It's very bad. Now, back to the writing here, because the writing is god awful. Basically, a lot of the stuff in this movie either felt very rushed or just didn't make any sense. So back to the main character, Cade, right? Cade is an alright, decent character, but God, and I mean the actor, but like, God was the writing and what he was told to do not that good. I don't know how this movie is rated, but if this movie is rated good, I will be fucking shocked, because Jesus Christ, the relationship he has not only with his daughter, but also with the daughter's boyfriend, it's like, it's so heavy handed and at times doesn't make sense. I'll give you an example. And again, light spoilers here, but there's a point in the film where Cade, as a father trying to take care of his daughter with very little help, very little resources, basically is trying to do his best. Now, granted, maybe he's a little selfish. He's doing it also for himself because he's not getting a real fucking job and he's really past due on bills. But he basically has almost nothing bad to say about his daughter, even though his daughter has like the most pessimistic view in the entire fucking world. She basically tries to not only shit on herself, but also take him down with her, saying like, "Oh, I was a mistake. Like, oh, I want to be like you as a teenager, but you don't want to be like that. Like, are you saying you were bad? Like, well, she basically takes every opportunity to try and put him down, and at every turn, at every corner, he tries to like say like, no, you're the happiest thing to ever happen to me. I love you, this, and that, and she's just shitting on him more for no reason at all. And the other thing I have to complain about, especially with the fucking daughter, is the whole film. She essentially does nothing until no, no, not even the end. She doesn't really. Well, actually, she does one thing at the end. But this daughter is so annoying. She basically goes the entire film sitting in here in the film, just screaming, "Daddy, help! Daddy, help! Daddy, don't leave me! Daddy, help! Daddy, help!" And then they do like, oh my god, the daughter and the rest of the cast do so many stupid, very obvious, very overdone tropes where it's like it's too corny. There's corniness in the Transformers films, especially in 1 to 3, but it's mixed in with cool and it's limited. And it's corny, but it's kind of like, okay, that's not too low hanging fruit. All the corniness of Age of Extinction was extremely low hanging fruit. I'll give you an example. There's a point where this boyfriend, and I'll get to him next because he's another fucking issue. This boyfriend is here doing nothing, acting like a total bitch, and the dad is basically doing most of the heavy lifting. And then they find the daughter, and the daughter just hugs the boyfriend. It's like, oh my god, you saved me, thank you, thank you. And the boyfriend's obviously not saying anything because he's getting his wiener stroked. And the dad's like, yep, yeah, he saved you. I totally didn't do anything. He wasn't crying like a bitch. He saved us. And it's like, it's so dumb because they push it so hard and so heavy handed. But now to the boyfriend. So the dad himself and the daughter have this weird relationship. And then the dad and the boyfriend have this even weirder relationship where for the whole film, the dad dislikes the boyfriend because he's a boy. And to an extent, that's understandable because, fathers aren't going to want to have their daughters mess around with the boys, especially in Texas where everything's bigger, if you know what I mean. And what they insinuate in the film is a little funny too. But essentially, for the whole film, even though this boyfriend, and this part doesn't make sense either, this boyfriend who knows the daughter is willing to risk limb after limb for this family. He doesn't know the dad. He only knows the daughter for a little bit, but he's willing to risk everything, even lose his life savings, lose his entire life. I don't know what he does as a job, but he's probably fired from that shit too because he's trying to help them with this Transformers issue. He never once complains. Like, imagine a random person dating someone, and now they have to fight like this alien galactic war, and they have no issues, no complaints whatsoever. I don't know what that daughter did. She must have the Super Soaker fucking 9,000 because this guy was gripped and whipped. Like, it's insane how everything bad that happened to them, he just didn't care. He's like, no, I'm in this 100% all the way through. Like, he's so supportive, which is completely unnatural. And then the dad looks at him and is like, no, I hate you. I don't like you. You're a boy. Get out. I'm going to punch you. I'm going to call the cops. Fuck you. Like, the dad hates him. Meanwhile, this guy's saving them. This guy's helping them. Granted, it's sometimes he's being a bitch. But for the most part, this guy has been just a help. He's a great guy. He's a nice guy. Granted, the dad's a little racist to him in a way, too. But I don't understand why they have such a bad relationship for the majority of the film. At the beginning, I understand, but it just goes on too long, and then out of nowhere, it just switches where they love each other and they want to kiss now. And it's like, oh, I guess you're not too bad. Oh, you're pretty good yourself. And it's so cliche. It's so cliche. It makes no sense how long it happens, why it switches so quickly, and it's just so stupid. So the actual conflict in the show, or sorry, not the show, the movie, right? I don't want to rag on the characters too much more. Oh, actually, no, I do. So some of the villains in this movie are fucking downright idiotic and dumb. I liked one of them, which was the bald billionaire. He's one of the villains, somewhat. There's like the government. There's obviously the Decepticons, but some of these people in this show, or sorry, in this movie, are so fucking dumb. They're so fucking stupid. Where it's like these are supposed to be the villains, where they act and seem like they have the intelligence and maturity level of fucking children. It is actually insane. These people create like god programs, like AI bullshit, genome sequencing. They create very, very advanced stuff that they say is going to usher in the next golden age. And it very well could with what they're doing, honestly. But when you look at them, how they act, how they speak, and the things they do, they honestly seem like fucking 7-year-old children. Like, oh, I want a donut. Meh, meh, meh. They're gonna cry about it. Like they're gonna throw hissy fits. They're either very neurotic, have some sort of mental problem up there, or they're just dumb. And the way they're portrayed is so comical. It doesn't make any sense for the position they're in. It literally looks like some of the people at the top here are so idiotic that all of their henchmen are the real people pulling the strings and doing all the work, which is the case most of the time in society anyway. But it's just such a mismatch where you see these people who are supposed to be the big bad villains and supposed to be very smart, and they're just stupid. There's times where stuff is happening and it just doesn't make sense why either people don't notice it, how they react to it. They got to say some really cheesy, corny one-liner that sometimes has no place and no relevance, and some of these things are just outright bad. One of the characters is chasing the main character in like a fight scene, right? And not only is the main character not professionally trained, he's just like a regular dude, right? He's being chased by army people, by professionals, and somehow he's sneaking into their buildings, hacking shit, getting into everything. He's the masterclass actor, he's a great fighter, fighting military people, ex-CIA agents, specially trained people, and it's like, how is this possible? And at some point, he's getting chased by one of them. And this has to be like one of the worst lines ever where I almost scrubbed it from my memory because it was so fucking bad. The guy was like chasing him on a rooftop, was chasing Cade, the main character, on a rooftop. And he just looked at him and they looked at each other. He said, "I'm gonna get you." And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even remember if that's what he said, but it was something along the lines of that's how stupid it was. It was so fucking bad. I could not believe it. And that's not to say there's not good lines in the show. Fuck it, the movie. God damn it. I wish this was a show. I could fucking spend less time on it. This is where I wish there was less like there was good stuff in the movie, even though it was very lesser in quality. There was some good quotes and some funny jokes that did land. Like one of the best Autobots, the Autobot squad they have in here, one of them is named Hound. He's like a big fat ass army one. He is pretty funny. Now, granted, some of his like stuff and how he interacts similar to all the other characters didn't make sense at some points. At some points, he's very like, I hate humans. He almost looks like a fucking Decepticon with what he does and how he acts. And some of the other ones too. Like they look like Decepticons with like, oh, we hate the humans. Like, give me the word. I'll fucking shoot them. I'll kill them instantly. Please let me do it. Like they're very bloodthirsty. Other times they're just like being stupid, having fun. Like they don't even want to be here. They're just cracking jokes. And one of the jokes really did land because Hound, he's really big and fat, and then he falls at the steps. He's like, "Oh, my fat ass can't get up," and I just really laughed at that shit. But this film flips between so many different things that conflict and just don't make sense. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're not. Like it's the end of the world, they might die, but they're like, whatever. We got 5 minutes. Let's fuck around, and it's so fucking dumb. Now, I'm probably done with most of my major complaints. That's probably it. A lot of the things were just stupid. Like I could go on and on dissecting every little thing, but I don't want to say too many more spoils than I already have. And the biggest thing was just this film did not feel right. Like the villains were cool. Some of them just don't make sense. Like one of the big major villains that gets shown up basically does nothing aside from one fight near the middle. After that one fight near the middle, he's there, and I guess it's more set up for the next movie. But it's like he basically does nothing. Where there's obvious points where he could come in and help, where he's watching, and he's just like, I don't know if he's standing there T posing. I don't know what he's doing. He's giving orders. I don't know what. This person usually gets in the action, and if he got in the action here, would have actually probably changed stuff, but he just did nothing. And then he sees them losing, he's doing nothing, and then after they lost, they're like, he's like, oh, I'll get you another day, and he just runs away, and it's like, what the fuck? There's points where stuff literally gets pulled out of the ass. Where at a certain point in the movie, like stuff just doesn't make sense. Where I'm gonna spoil at least this part. It's not that big a spoiler. Again, minor spoiler here, but Optimus is kind of damaged in certain parts of the movie. He's damaged, and they don't really have any help, right? They don't have any help, and they can't really repair themselves. They don't have, like, any sort of person who could help them aside from the main character, Cade, who is an engineer, so he could kind of patch them up as best he could, even though they're fucking advanced alien tech. But, he does what he can. This is where in the film they're fucked up, they're decrepit at some points, they're battle worn, and they just see a car on the street, they look at it, they scan it, and then they just repair themselves. And it's like, could they have done this in the entire other series? Could they just scan something real quick and then just make metal out of nowhere and repair themselves? It doesn't make any sense to them why they needed someone like Ratchet who could repair them. And then the other thing that didn't make sense, and especially with Optimus, was at a certain point in the movie, he could just fly. And he didn't scan anything to get this, because if he scanned something, because if we're going to stay with the ridiculous, let's stay ridiculous, right? If he got it from scanning something, it already doesn't make sense, but that's what they've set up as the precedent before. He scanned another truck, and he got a whole new truck body. I don't know if this truck had fucking nitrous oxide in it. I don't know if it was a secret SpaceX truck from Elon Musk. I don't fucking know. But out of nowhere, Optimus just started flying. And there's very specific points in this film where if he could have done that, it would have helped him majorly. And I'm just thinking, like, this fucker had rockets on him the entire time. But it didn't matter. And it's so confusing. They just pull stuff out their ass. But I'm gonna start harping on the movie now for the most part. It is already over 20 minutes, and I didn't think I'd go this long, but I surprise myself every day. And I'm sick and I'm exhausted, so we're gonna settle it down here. But essentially, ending thoughts. 1 through 3, I really liked. They were corny, they were cheesy at some points, but overall, great writing, great interaction, great characters. And you're going into this movie to see just, action and Transformers fuck each other up. There were certain points in 4 where everything got turned on its head. The writing was terrible, the character interactions are not that good. Even after they defeated the main villain of this film and like kind of ended, I was like, wait, that's it? It just happened so fast, and then everything just kind of resolved itself, and then there's like an ending scene. And it's like, wow, like this doesn't. It just didn't feel right. Something about it felt off with the pacing. So the pacing's not good. The writing's not good. The jokes are fucking terrible for the most part. A lot of things about this movie are so bad. Even Optimus, right? Optimus, who's the coolest character, who you're essentially coming to see the movie for, he didn't have that many good quotes in this shit either. Like, some of the other quotes in the other movies, like, I rise, you fall, or I'll take you all on. Like, those things are remembered. I don't remember his quote in the movie in this, except for one really ridiculous quote he said at the end that just made, like, no sense, and it just started making me laugh. Like, after a certain point, I gave up on this movie being good, and I was just laughing at how silly and stupid it is. When it comes to the villains acting like children, looking like children, I cannot imagine these people actually being in the workforce. Of course, they're fucking billionaires, though, so maybe that's why. And I didn't like a lot of things in this film. I really disliked it. And the more I thought about it, the more it annoyed me, and the more it pushed me to finally make this video. So again, this is more off the cuff, but I hope everyone enjoyed. If I had to rate this using my sick, addled brain, I would probably rate it like, and I have to compare it to the other movies. Like, you're not watching this movie. If you watch it alone, like, stand alone, you haven't seen any of the Transformers else. Number one, you're going to be lost as shit. You're not going to know what's going on. But number two, even though it does a pretty good job of being a standalone film on its own, it's not too bad. But for the most part, if you watch on your own, you might think it's okay. But comparing it to everything else and what's in the verse, and I especially heard that some fans didn't like this because of how they treated certain sects of Transformers and how they kind of did certain Transformers very, very dirty. But that's not me, because I'm not too big of a Transformers aficionado. But overall, comparing it to the other ones and then taking it as it is, I would honestly have to rate this shit like a 3 out of 10. I think his name is Mark Wahlberg. Actually, I think that's the main actor for Cade. I would have to rate this 3 out of 10 Marky Marks. I really hope it's Mark Wahlberg, but 3 out of 10 Marky Marks. Like, if I could stop myself from watching this and just like see scenes on YouTube of like major fights and stuff, because there's really not that many, and they're all right. They're not crazy, but I would go in the past and be like, listen, just see the scenes on YouTube. Spare yourself the trouble, and just have a nice image of Transformers Bayverse in your mind. Because now the overall image has been degraded. Like, this was not good. This was not fucking good. Too many things didn't make sense. Too many things were low quality and too bad. 3 out of 10 Marky Marks. I hope everyone enjoyed. Anyway, excuse me. I'm gonna finally go take a shower because again, I just got home from running and I'm sick. I need a hot shower to relax and try and not, pass out. But if you guys enjoyed this, tell me if I should do more scripted stuff or more just off the cuff stuff. Because, scripted stuff takes a while. I actually like doing scripted stuff. I like organizing my thoughts, but off the cuff I could do very easily too. So please tell me which one you like more. And if you want me to see and review anything, please let me know. I'd love to share my opinion about almost anything. And please watch me on Twitch TV/Tecnics channel, where I stream pretty much, I try to, every day. And we can have fun and talk about stuff together while I play with my friends and play games. And you watch me play games and you enjoy it too. Eee!